Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on Happy RC Flyer here on YouTube. Today we have a special treat for you. We're going to be doing the unboxing on the Freewing ARES 3D jet. There's been a lot of hype around this. Some people have been really excited. Some people have been really disappointed with it. But we're going to start on our journey and see how it goes. So before you can do much, you got to get it out of the box, and that's what we're going to do in today's video. I ordered this as soon as it was available. I saw some leaks of it, some sneak peeks, I guess, if you will, about it before it became available to the US. And then I was on the newsletter for Motion RC. And as soon as Motion RC sent the notification out that it was available for order and it was in stock, I was kind of surprised. I didn't expect it to be in stock so soon. And I ordered mine right away, probably within like, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 minutes of it becoming available. And it shipped really fast. I got it in just record time. I was surprised. And honestly, I had a busy weekend and wasn't able to get to it. I think I ordered it like on maybe a Wednesday or Thursday, and it was at my house at like Saturday. I couldn't believe it. So Motion RC has really good shipping speeds, and I've ordered some other stuff from them. I think maybe I've done some other unboxing videos from Motion RC products, but if not, there'll be some coming in the future. So not sure exactly how the order of these videos will come out, but at least we got to do the unboxing before we can do the fly-in. So anyhow, it came in really fast, and unfortunately I've been busy with other stuff, and some of it's RC related, some of it's work related, some of it's other hobby related and air shows and stuff like that. So I haven't been able to get this out of the box, and sadly it's sat in the box for probably about a month now. I'm not sure exactly the date of when it became available. I'll put that on the screen up there in the corner of when it became available at Motion RC, when we got the notification and ordered it. And like I said, the shipping speeds were really fast, so pretty impressed with that. I've always been really impressed with Motion RC. Their customer service and customer support, and also the shipping speeds have been really good. So anyway, been disappointed. I was really excited about this years ago, probably. I'm not exactly for sure, but it seems like it's been about 3 or maybe 4 years ago. I was really excited about the Flex innovations. They had, I think they were calling it the F-16, but it was a 3D jet, and I was really excited to get one of those. But by the time I started kind of getting into EDFs, I couldn't find it available. It was out of stock, and I couldn't find any used ones. The only used ones I could find didn't have the TV or the thrust vectoring unit on the tail end of it. And so that was kind of the only reason I wanted one. It wasn't exactly like a scale F-16. It had kind of a Thunderbird paint scheme. But anyway, I was disappointed. I kept watching for one of those at a swap meet. Thought for sure someone would have one somewhere, and couldn't figure out how to source one. I guess maybe a lot of people crashed them. But the only ones I could find were without the thrust vectoring unit. So I'd kept my eyes out for something like this. I wasn't quite ready to spring into the turbines. And, you know, they're pretty cool. I've got friends that have them, and they're really cool, but they're just a lot of money. And I kind of wanted something electric that was pretty clean. I could put in the house, didn't have to worry about, you know, fuel and odor and stuff like that. And also, you know, the extra money. So I was pretty excited to hear about this when Freewing announced it, and was really surprised that Motion RC got it in stock so fast. So we're going to get into the unboxing here. But before we do, if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. Subscribing helps grow the channel, and we're here to help grow the hobby. If you like the unsponsored perspective on things, which means I don't make any money on these videos, I don't make any money on the products, I don't get major discounts on the products, I don't get, like, you know, people sending me free stuff and want me to review it. I have had some companies that want to offer me some free products to review, but I turned them down because I want to be that unsponsored hobbyist perspective. And there's a lot of other channels. If you're looking for the sponsored perspective on things, there's a lot of items that are really great, and they're awesome if they're free. And I just that's not really the direction I want to go with this channel. It started to be by hobbyists for other hobbyists that don't want to be mixed up with all that, you know, get the free item stuff. And so, not to shed any bad light on anybody else, I have friends that do it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I help them with their channels. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But that's just what I've chosen for this channel. So I have turned some companies down recently who wanted to send me some free products. And I told them, I said, well, hey, I'm happy to purchase the products at a discount rate that I would be willing to share with my viewers. And so if you would offer me a discount that I could also share with other people, then I would purchase it at that price and review the products. So I didn't hear anything back from them. So I guess that's a polite way to say no thanks. But anyway, I have a lot of stuff going on with work and things, so I don't pump out as many videos as what I would like to, and I keep sharing that I anticipate sharing more videos and get more camera gear and try to make things easier, but I just have life, I just work, and I have other hobbies as well. So this is kind of something that I do for fun. I don't really want it to get into that business oriented where I feel under pressure from companies to review certain products. I just like to keep it fun and enjoyable, kind of a laid back atmosphere. So if you like that perspective, make sure you take the time to subscribe. Most of my viewers aren't subscribed, and like I said, it helps grow the channel. We're here to help grow the hobby. Drop a comment or question if you have one, whether it's about this product, the Freewing ARES jet, or whether it's about something else, whether it's drone, vehicle, boat, helicopter, giant scale, micro related, whatever it is, FPV or scale. Cars and trucks. We do kind of mess around with it all, as you've seen on the channel. So don't get stuck. I know what it's like not to have anybody that's friends in the hobby, and you get stuck on something. Maybe it's a basic question. You just needs a little bit of help, a little thumb in your back to encourage you to have fun in the hobby. And so drop a comment or question if you have one. Maybe I'm going to miss something in this review video. And so if there is such a thing, then drop the comments in the video, and we'll try to respond to that as I'm able to. If you're one of the people that hang around the comment section and offer helpful advice to other people that have questions, then I appreciate you. Thanks for spending your time to invest in the community and invest in making the hobby more enjoyable for everybody. So hit that big thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. That helps YouTube know that you like these videos. It helps me know what you guys like and the kind of content I'm going to get to share with you guys. We're kind of entering into fall here in the United States, and as we enter from fall into wintertime, there's going to be a little bit of a change in the channel here. We're still going to be flying stuff. We're still going to be messing around outdoors, but we'll be sharing some more stuff to do inside. I haven't got as many boat videos out this summer, so we'll try to squeeze some of those in. I've got some new boats, some new releases that I haven't got to do any videos on yet, so we're looking forward to those. But as we move towards winter, we'll be messing around with more indoor stuff like some track racing, some drift cars, some other stuff that you can do inside, crawlers and things like that. So you want to make sure that you're subscribed and hit the big thumbs up button. Also, consider sharing this video with a friend that you think might enjoy it. And let's get into it. Here we are, as we mentioned already, this is the Freewing ARES jet. This is advertised as being a 3D jet. And before we go any farther, I'll probably mention this throughout the video in case you miss it right at the beginning. But if you are purchasing this jet for the purpose of hovering, do not mess with the 6L version. They kind of made it a little bit obscure in some of the videos from Motion RC, and some of the early announcements, and even I think some on the product page for Motion RC. But they do offer this in an 8-cell version and a 6-cell. This is the 8-cell version. I'm always going to go with more power if I have the option. I have the F22 by Freewing, the 90mm, and they offer that in 6S or 8S. I went with the 8S version. No regrets on that. I know everybody's got 6S, but you can always throw a 2S battery in with your 6S packs. You don't have to get all 4-cell packs, because I know that keeps a lot of people back from wanting to do 8S if they're already into 6S. So think about that. But if you're looking to hover it, you definitely want to make sure you go with the 8-cell version. The 6-cell version can hover, but you have to take like the retracts out. You have to put like the stock landing gear in, or I know some people take the gear off and just hand launch it. That's an option as well. But if you want power to be able to pull out of that hover and just extra power for maneuverability in the sky for aerobatics, then make sure that you get the 8-cell version. So without any further ado, here it is. Look at this. We have a page in here, a little postcard that says this model has a 30-day warranty, which at this point has probably already been expired because it's been sitting around my house for like 30 days since this has already come out. So we don't need that. But if you do have issues, you can contact them there on the card. I do know that they're really good. They seem to be pretty good with customer service and customer support. There's how it comes. It comes double boxed in a brown box. Of course, you all know that blue tape Motion RC when you see it. And then here's the box for it. Very nice. I know Horizon does a really good job on a lot of their pictures on their boxes and stuff. And to me, that's not really a big deal because I don't really keep the boxes, but it does look cool when you get it out, when you break it out of the box. I will let you guess at this point in the video. You can drop in the comments what color you think that I got. And you have to put that comment in there pretty quick because we're going to open the box and then you'll get to see the reveal of which color I picked. It's offered in yellow and red. And so they're both pretty cool color schemes. They also have LED lights, which we'll get into it a little bit more. But again, they're calling this the 3D 90mm EDF jet. So it's kind of been a thing that if you're going to try to fly 3D with the jet, then it needs to be a turbine. You need to have some good thrust. And up till this point, they haven't really had good options for EDF to be efficient and to be able to produce enough power. Thrust to weight ratio has to be pretty high in order to get a jet to hover, because we know that EDFs are not really that efficient, but they're cool. They sound cool, and it's most realistic, like a real jet, so we like it. So here's some of the specs. I don't know if I can read upside down, but the wingspan is 1.156 millimeters, so it's 45 inches, 45.5 inches. The length of it is 1400 millimeters, or 55.1 inches. It tells you about your empty weight for the 6S, your empty weight for the 8S version, and that, of course, weight is without the battery. There's some specs there. It tells you about the motor, the ESC. This is the plug and play. You can purchase this as an ARF. I don't have all the specs on what system that you would want, but I would say pretty equivalent to this, or something with more power is what I would recommend if you're going to get your own system. But this is the plug and play version. I generally go with plug and play when I have the option. I'll just kind of show you a little bit here on the back of the box, some of the box and some of the specs on the outside. And like I said, if you have an idea on what color you think that I purchased, then go ahead and throw that in the comment section. Some of you might know what color I purchased, because I think maybe I posted a leak. Those of you that don't know it, I like to post some posts. They're just called posts, I guess, on YouTube, sort of like you would do on social media. And I like to post things on there. Sometimes you get to see a little sneak peek of behind the scenes, kind of what I'm messing around with. And I think I put a post on YouTube when I ordered this, and maybe in that post there might be it might tell you what color I bought. I can't remember if it says in the little post what I put in there, but it's like a little email confirmation from Motion RC when I ordered it. So I've been pretty excited about this. I'm actually kind of surprised that it sat in the box for nearly a month. I don't know if it's been exactly a month. Maybe it's been like 3 weeks. But I'm kind of surprised that it's actually sat in the box for that long, because I've been pretty excited. But I will just remind you that sometimes we get excited about a new product and everybody wants to be the first one. And I have one friend, you know who you are, that you just like to buy the latest and the greatest. And if someone else at the airfield has one, or you have friends that have a couple of them, you're not even going to order one. You just like it because it's new. But with some things like this, it's okay to wait. Don't feel like you have to be the first one out there. Don't feel like you have to order that first, get your order in the first batch before they go out of stock. I don't think that's been an issue with this jet anyway. But with products like this, that's a little bit unique and a little bit peculiar, and maybe make some big claims that it can hover, it's efficient enough to hover and gets good flight time, don't be afraid to wait a little bit and allow some other people to venture out in the waters. I always say that I like new things. You guys know that by the channel, but at the same time, I don't have any problem with staying in the shallow water until I make sure there's no alligators around. And by that, I mean there's a lot of people that have crashed this jet. So I believe it's due to user error and gyro setup error, but who knows? Maybe, well, the Lord knows, but maybe we'll crash ours. I don't know. So have you guessed which color? Do you think it's yellow or red? It is red. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Very well packaged. Some foam we treasure, the painted foam we treasure, and then the white unpainted foam we throw it away. It's kind of ironic. Here's the instruction manual. Nice color instruction manual. Well, I guess maybe just the front of it is. The rest of it is black and white. Here's some warnings on the front. It talks about retractable landing gear voltage, servo voltage, control box voltage, LED voltage, landing gear door sequence voltage. So maybe if you're just kind of rewiring stuff, you want to know so you're not going to blow your gear out. Here's a little baggie here. We have some screws. We have these removable weights, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the video. And we have some Y adapters. We have 2 Y adapters. We have a little bit of drawer liner foam. I'm assuming they're probably going to use that on the battery. And then just some little plastic bits in there. So we'll look at that a little bit later. We kind of want to get it out. I don't want this video to be really long. We'll do a series on this jet. And so I'm not going to set it up today. I don't have batteries with me. I don't have my transmitter with me. I've been flying a little E-Fly air tractor. It's been a beautiful day. and was flying some around on that, but I don't have my Radio Master transmitter with me. So anyway, there it is. It's packed really well. There is nothing on the bottom, as you can see. So let's go ahead and get this out of the box. Let's see where our tape is. We don't have any tape down the side. I think we just have some packing tape on each end. Make sure you don't cut too deep in the box. That would be really sad. This is a beautiful EDF. Look at that. Wow, guys. Wish we could get you a little bit better angle on the looks of this thing, but it is pretty cool. Very well packaged. Sits in there really nice. It's a nice big EDF size. A couple carbon rods or spars. We have our nose cone in here. So I'll tell you what, let's just unbox it as we go. The nose cone is from the bottom. We'll go ahead and take that out of the wrapper. Whoa. And it looks like it's just magnetic, like most of them are. It's got a little piece of plywood on there to guide it in. We're going to go ahead and cut these. Again, make sure you don't cut too deep. Don't want to mess up a nice plane by getting in a hurry. We have a little breeze here. We're going to have to pick up our parts afterwards, so don't think I'm littering. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty happy. I think the red color will pop. I've got some buddies that bought the yellow one, the yellow version, and that really looks cool. I almost kind of had some second thoughts when I saw their yellow version. I didn't get to see it in person. I've not seen this jet in person, but just some videos from friends. And that is really cool graphics. The graphics have a little bit of shading to them, so it looks like three-dimensional even in the graphics. And the paint looks really good. There's LED lights in it, of course. And so we'll look at it here some more in just a minute. But let's get it out of the box. There's the wing. This is the right wing. Let's go ahead and open that up. Looks like you just have to rip the bag open. So it's kind of nice to know that it's not been opened before. Again, the paint job on it looks really good. Looks very, very good quality. So we have flaps, we have ailerons. This actually has metal wing connectors. I have not seen that before on a wing. It's got the quick disconnect, and then we have metal connectors. We'll maybe try to get you some close-up photos on the screen, maybe now or maybe when we discuss it further. So again, I kind of want to keep rolling here. I know it's easy to get stuck talking about the looks of it, but we want to keep working towards getting it out of the box. And another cool wing. Again, I don't know if you're able to see the graphics on that. It just kind of looks like three-dimensional. It's pretty cool. And metal landing gear, metal mounts. So I don't know if I've seen that before in any of the EDFs I've had from Freewing. I have quite a number of Freewing EDFs. They're good quality. I really feel like, I started off having a lot of E-Flight products, and I still do have, I'd say, the majority of my collection is E-Flight. So when you hear me share bad news about E-Flight, keep that in mind, that I have a lot of their products. And so I'm not just trying to bash on them for no reason because I don't like them, but I do like them. They just have had some quality issues in the recent future. And when it comes to jets, Freewing is where it's at. I've had a number of E-Flight jets, a number of Freewing jets, still have some. One of my favorite EDFs from E-Flight, I just opened the back end of that bag. It didn't need to be open like that. So there's a canopy. There are some cool little instrument graphics on there. So I'll put some pictures in there on that as well. We might look at it a little bit later. But one of my favorite EDFs from Horizon is the 70mm F-16, the Thunderbird. It is a really good flyer and handles well, and I can get good flight time out of it. I use the HRBs, the 6000 or 6S 4000, and I recently got a new Thunderbird 70mm since they came out with the smart one, because I was actually working on a smart version, upgrading the ESCs to have reverse thrust, and just had other projects going on, and before I could finish it, E-Flight came out with theirs. So they stole my idea, or else maybe I stole theirs, but I didn't realize they were going to come out with one. So they got theirs done before I got mine done. But I'm trying to make mine souped up, so I don't want to spoil the video for the future. But there's the elevator. Looks like it fits in real well. and servos are already installed. The paint job looks really good on it. I don't see any scuffs. It looks like really good quality. So I'm going to keep moving on here. I'm going to bring these little carbon spars out of here. We got a little bit larger one that's kind of shorter, and then the longer one is more narrow, thinner. Okay, this is what we've really been waiting for. This here is what we've been waiting for. Is this cool or what? So it comes with some carbon spars. Let me see if I can show you a little bit. It comes with these little wooden pieces of plywood in here with some saddles, a couple of saddles, and then it has these carbon spars that are only used for transport. And so those, you're not going to use those to fly, but those are just while you're transporting it. And you take those out right away. And then of course that makes it easier to get it out of the bag. Get this bad foam out of the way. Keep the good foam. Anyhow, we got a little breeze. We'll have to pick up. It's going to be quite a mess. So this looks pretty good. Look down in there, guys. There is like tremendous amount of room for batteries. The battery bay is just ginormous. This hatch does not sit down in there a bunch. So that gives you a lot of room. You can see about how much room you're going to have for your battery configuration, whatever you choose to do. There is no pilot in here, and I think it was from Wesley at Motion RC. I think he said there's no pilot in here because they were trying to trim down the weight. So you could put a 3D printed, maybe some lightweight PLA. You could put a pilot in there, and that wouldn't be too bad. So we'll kind of tinker with that in the future. But, well, that fits in there pretty good. It's got a nice latch mechanism. I always like to see that. So no magnets, just tuck the front end, latch the back. I don't know if you can see it on camera. We'll probably put some pictures in there in post-production, but there's two gyros. Two of these, I think they're calling them, I want to call them AGO1s. They're not AGO1s. That's the gimbals for Radiomaster, but they're GO1s, I think, is what they're called. Not for sure. But there's a light connector, a little JST, and then, of course, your main EC5, IC5. I think it's an EC5 because it's a blue one. There's all your connectors. Look at that spaghetti mess. Woohoo! So that's going to be fun. And I don't know if I'll do a configuration or a setup video. I might, if you guys want to see a setup video, how I set it up, let me know. I can definitely do that. But I saw a video come out recently. I think Wes was working on one and he just came out with it. And it is, they're using the Radiomaster TX16S, and they're doing ELRS receivers by Radiomaster. I'm not sure if I'm going to use those receivers. I'm kind of thinking about doing TBS receivers, or if I do use ELRS, I might use the dual band, the Gemini receivers, which run on 900 megahertz and 2.4. So I'm not for sure about that just yet, but we will face that when it comes. But everything looks really good. Everything looks pretty good. Yeah, this has got a little scuff on it on the very tail end of it. I think it's just paint. Yeah, it came off pretty easy. So yeah, there's a little tail skid here, which is kind of cool. And everything else looks pretty good. You know, it's kind of hard to complain, but if I don't complain about something, you guys will think that somebody gave this to me for free, or I'm getting money when you guys buy one, which I'm not. But this has a little bit of overspray on the marker light on the top of the fuselage. I will probably take a little bit of paint thinner and knock that off, but that could have been a little bit better. And some of these lines right in here are not as sharp. So I don't know, maybe this is one of the first ones they did. The lines are just not real crisp like they are in some other areas. I guess these are graphics, but these are paint lines. So the paint line on top of the fuselage, it's not as crisp as it could be, but when it goes by about 100 miles an hour, you won't notice it. And maybe when I get done flying and it's in a pile on the ground, you probably won't notice it. But anyway, yeah, it's pretty cool. We have a bunch of navigation lights down the side of the fuselage. We've got up on top. And I'm thinking there's one down here on the bottom of the fuselage. And the one on the bottom of the fuselage, maybe I'll put a picture of it in post-production. That is kind of interesting. It looks like they painted over the actual LED, so the LED only emits straight out the bottom. I don't know if that's intentional or not, so maybe we'll have to do a follow-up. These little click connectors are pretty cool. I don't have any planes that have these type of connectors in them. I think they're relatively new by Freewing. So, yeah. You can see everything just screws together. There's the thrusting nozzle. Looks like it has good angle on it. Wow, I'm excited to try this out. I have not tried hovering a jet with thrust vectoring. I've got some buddies that have the FMS Avanti, and I've heard really good about it. I almost bought one. I was considering getting one of those when I heard about the release of this aircraft, so I held off. So, all right, let's get this thing assembled. Let's work on the rudder first. And so we're going to pull these wires out. There are two wires. One is going to be for your LED, and it has a narrow servo connector on it. One is going to be for your servo for your rudder. So we're going to take this little twisty tie off. And boy, I cannot remember all the instructions on this, but this has to go on top. The elevator goes on first, sits on there and screws in, and then your rudder screws in. And so we're gonna prep the rudder, or prep the elevator, or the horizontal stab. It's got some twisty ties on here. Okay, come on. We'll get this thing put together. So it seems like there was something important in the instructions from Wesley about assembling this. I can't remember. I don't think I watched all of the video. Maybe you should go do that. Or of course you're watching this one. You don't need to watch Wesley. You can watch this one here. Anyway, Wesley's pretty cool. I got to meet and hang out with him some at Helystorm in Dayton, Ohio, and he's really cool. And so Wes and Chris, and so you'll see some videos. Maybe you've already seen some sneak peek videos from them, but they're great guys. They're the same in person as you see them on YouTube. So let me grab my screwdriver, so hang tight. Grab my toolkit. I forgot to put it on set when I started the video. Let's see here. Okay, we are back. Make sure we're still rolling. And we're going to pop open these screws. Let's see. I'm thinking that all of these screws in this bag, which would be nice if it was Ziploc, so you don't have to just rip it open and everything comes out. But there's those all together. Now maybe I'll bring them up here and show you guys. So you can see the little screws. They're all the same. They're all going to be hex drivers. And then there's these little plugs, like little screw plug holes. And then of course there's these two. They're not lead, but they're pretty heavy weights. So those are going to go in the nose depending on how you configure your jet. And so I like this, that all the screws are the same size. Now let's see if I have the right size driver. Hopefully I do. I can put a link for this driver set in the video description, but I believe that I did a video on this screwdriver set on one of my Tools and Tips Tuesdays. It was one of the first Tools and Tips Tuesdays I've done. Since then, or maybe in the Tools and Tips video, I can't remember for sure, but my zipper on this thing has gone bad. And so now it's just kind of flopping around. So keep that in mind. If you get it, the zipper is just sort of cheap on it. It would be nice if there was some different setup with it. But we're not going to throw the whole kit away just because the fastener broke. Okay, so we got the right size here. I like it that all these screws are the same size, so you don't have to wonder if you're putting the wing screws or the elevator screws in the rudder and vice versa. So make sure it sits down flat. You'll know when it sits down flat. I don't think I have to go in detail on how to explain whether you're doing it right. And just a reminder, in assembling this or anything RC, these are not full metal tools. So only the tools I'm using, they are. But when you're attaching things, don't force something. So if you ever find yourself, you're trying to manipulate something and it's just not going in, or you start screwing it and it's really hard and you have to put forth a lot of effort, more than likely that's your first sign that you're doing it wrong. So don't force it. Be gentle with it. Make sure everything is properly seated. Make sure your screws are going in really easy. You shouldn't have to put a torque wrench on these things. Shouldn't have to get a big breaker torque bar out, crank on them. If you have to do that, you're probably doing it wrong. So just a quick tip on assembling and working with RC stuff. They are just expensive toys, and so keep that in mind. You want to screw these in. You don't want them super tight because you don't want to strip anything out. They are, I think, brass threads. So just take your index finger and your thumb and tighten them down there. There you go. You don't, not grabbing them with my hand and cinching them down to strip out the foam or anything. So now that we have that in, we have this little board here, and maybe we'll try to get some pictures, or maybe I'll just bring it over right quick. Might be easier. I don't like editing. So you can see this little board, and this little board is lettered out. So it's got little insignias on it: rudder, elevator, and elevator. And then the bottom one is lights. So we're gonna go ahead and hook that up. So when you plug these in, you know where they go. We're gonna hook the rudder in. Let's see, we have elevator, elevator, and I don't know which one goes on top. So I assume that it can be all changed around after the fact. So make sure you have your polarity correct. Just plug that in and plug in the other one in. And then route your wires down in here to sit flat out of the way, because we know we've got that rudder that goes on. So you want your elevator wires to sit. There's like little channels on either side, and you'll see it. When you start working with it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So we have another couple plugs. Again, make sure your polarity is correct. If for some reason you get this polarity wrong and it doesn't work properly, you may be a little confused. You may think your gyro's not working right. You may think that, you know, you woke up on the wrong side of the bed or something like that. But it's not a big deal. These are not glue-on parts, and so it's easy to unscrew this, take this all back apart if you did it incorrectly. So not a big deal. Don't sweat it. But take your time to do it correctly. So we're trying to make sure all these wires are tucked in this little channel how they're supposed to be. And I think this is kind of the challenging part, because I don't feel like it's sitting down there where it should be. You can kind of see the front end of this is up, leading edge, so I'm gonna try to put these in, and they're just kind of wanting to go everywhere. So this might be the hardest part of the assembly, pretty much the only part of the assembly. So let's see, we have a little carbon rod. We have to make sure that it gets in the right department. Oh yeah, we're just not getting it in there correctly, I don't think. Let's see. You can look, your attachment screw is right here. So you want to make sure that your rudder is pushed down enough so your screws, you have one in the front and one in the back. And it might be a little bit of a challenge to get your servo wires to stay where you want them to stay. I almost wonder if putting a little rubber band around that little bit of spaghetti nest in the module might be a good option to consider. But I'm not wanting to take too much time on this, because I may take this back apart to take some pictures for you guys. But yeah, I just want to get this thing put together. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. Again, we're not going to fly it in this video. We're only unboxing and a quick assembly. Again, screw them in nice and firm. Don't be stripping anything out. This is just a foam airplane at the end of the day. So you have 2 screws, one on each side at the leading edge of the rudder, and 2 screws, one on each side in the rear. And I believe I have an extra screw. I don't know. We'll find out real soon if that's just an extra one, which would be kind of nice. I like it when companies throw in extras, because we're out here in the grass and you never know. Let's see, maybe there's just one that goes in the back. Oh no, we're not down. We're not seated down in here properly. I'm gonna push that down in there. We might have some issues, folks. We might have some issues. See if we can get this to go in. It's going in. It's going in. Okay. They may have just thrown in an extra screw just to say, hey, we're considered if you lose one. So I had trouble trying to screw this one side in, the right side. I pushed it down, I got the left side started, and then now the right side goes in fine. So keep that in mind. If one side's working, one side's not, just flip it around. We have the tail assembly assembled. Again, you're going to put the rudder on, or the elevator first, and then your rudder sits on top of that. The key to getting this to sit flat is to remember to keep those wires in that channel where they're intended to be. Okay, you know, it doesn't take long to make a jet like this look pretty cool, much like an airplane. You just don't have to do much assembly these days. Your little skinny rod, which is actually longer but smaller in diameter, goes in the rear. Bigger one goes in the front. There's no way that you can get those confused or mixed up because they only work one way. Get the spars started. Listen, pop it in there. Wow, that's a really good solid fit. I wish more airplanes had these. I've been considering upgrading some of my Freewing A10s to the new ones that have these quick disconnectors. Let's see here. Why aren't we able to get to click in? Oh. So, just a word of the wise, if you have your quick disconnects, if they are pushed in, like I think mine just got pushed in by accident, sitting here working with it on the table, then that will keep your wing from going on. So if you have trouble getting your wing on, getting it to seat properly, make sure that these are popped out or in the released position where there's some white showing on the plastic. And then you have to get them in all the way before, see how it won't quite go in. And you put a little pressure on it. Here it is, guys. What am I doing here? There we go. Let's pop back out. So you want to hear that click. You want to check, make sure so you don't have any white foam showing. Check this one again. Or it's not foam, pardon me, it's plastic. Let me bring it up here and show it to you, show you exactly what I'm talking about. It's a lot easier just to bring it up to the camera than it is to do it in post-production. But see that? When that's popped out in the release position, you'll see a little bit of white plastic there, or unpainted plastic. If these are pressed in where you don't see any white plastic and you're trying to put your wing on, it's not going to go on because those are not in the release position. So also, in order with that, when you have them on, make sure that they're seated in there properly. You don't have any white plastic showing, and you know that it's locked in, ready for flight. Okay, guys, it kind of looks like a plane now. Let's put the hatch on there. Let's put the nose on there. Of course, we're not going to do any programming today. That's going to be another separate video. But here we are. Look at that. It is quite large. And it's sharp looking. I like the paint job. I like the colors. I like the paint scheme, red and white. I think it's really going to pop in the air. There's the belly of it. And you can see this is just a huge model. Set it there on the table, and it's pretty tall. So I'm excited. It's not the biggest plane that I have. Probably won't be the fastest. Definitely not the most expensive. But it'll be probably the only EDF I have in my collection that'll hover. So I'm pretty excited. This plane is pretty expensive. It's $699, and so that's what I paid for it, just the price anybody else would. This is not a sponsored video. Motion RC, those guys, they're great guys, but they didn't give me any discount for shooting this video or anything like that. I don't even know if they know that I have one, other than maybe commenting on their videos and telling them that I had one. I was excited for it to come in. But there's the big intakes. I like that they have plastic leading edge on the intakes, and all your high traffic areas are plastic, so you're not going to bump that. These are kind of interesting because I think these are plywood. So I would have thought these would be like carbon fiber, like the wing fences. And I think that is going to be pretty important when you fly these, especially if you're going to do something like a knife edge or stand up on its side. I know some planes were manufactured without them and they added them later. Like, I think like the E-Flight Havoc. That was one of the planes that didn't have it on there, and they found out it flew better with the wing fence. So anyway, there it is. Look up the tailpipe of that. It's a big old tailpipe. There's what it looks like. And we'll get it up a little closer here so you can see it. But it is pretty cool. I don't know if you guys can see in there the instrument panel, some of the stickers. It is just stickers, but hey, it's cool. It is pretty cool looking. Some nice graphics on it. And then, like I mentioned already, we have all these LEDs. So when you're flying, orientation is really going to help with these navigation lights. And all your servos are recessed in. Everything is painted. Retracts in here look really nice, and we'll get into more of that. Again, metal mounts, aluminum probably. So that's pretty cool, pretty good quality. These gear doors don't strike me as being overly durable, but I suppose they're just as durable as anything. They look like they're servo controlled and springs on the back. And you do have a little bit of cheater holes there, which is important because when you're standing it up, be able to suck in a little bit of, get a little bit of intake. Here's this LED I was telling you about. See how that looks painted? Looks like it's painted except for the very top of it. So I don't know if that's intentional or not, but anyway, I guess where I was going with that is this is not a sponsored video. I'll put the link where you can buy this from Motion RC, but this is not an affiliate link, so I don't make any money. I don't even know if you purchase one or not. It doesn't matter to me. I have a job. I make just as much money whether you buy one of these or not. But I do appreciate you guys watching the videos, taking the time to subscribe, drop a comment if you want. There's extra screw. We have some extra little caps. I'm not 100% sure what these little caps are. I don't think that they go in here. Not 100% sure on that, so I might have to get back to you. There are some ball links if we want to hook up. What would we have to hook up? The rudders? The elevators? They're already hooked up. So maybe they're just extra ball links. Oh, the thrust vectoring unit maybe? No, it's already hooked up. So I don't know why they give you some extras, so I'm not opposed to that. But yeah, these little, let me come up there closer to the camera, but I don't think I'm going to put these in right now. But if you need more nose weight, these little weights slide right in there. I don't know if you can see that, but top and bottom, one in each side. And that, you're not going to want to just fly with those. You're going to test it and see where your CG marks are. You're going to see where your CG lines up, and if you need more nose weight, and then you can use those accordingly. So splitter adapters, all kinds of cool stuff. So here it is, guys, the Freewing ARES, and this is pretty exciting. So I'm pretty excited to fly this. It might be a while before I get to fly it. Like I said, I'm going to look into the programming. I think this takes 13 channels, if I remember correctly, to run the gyros, both gyros. And so what we might do is join two of the receivers together, kind of like what Wes did with the ELRS receivers. But like I said, we'll do that in a separate video. So there's the unboxing, the assembly, and it is pretty sharp. It's pretty good size. I mean, most 90 millimeters are, but this is $6.99, and I paid the normal price like anybody else would, any other hobbyist. And when you think about what it is, I mean, you think of a jet for $6.99, it's a lot of money, and it is a lot of money. And I don't normally spend $6.99 on jets. And I have some jets that are pretty expensive, some of the HSD jets, like the T-33, the 120 millimeter. I have a F-16, the 105 millimeter. Those are really expensive. They're $1,600 or more. I think the prices went up on them if you can get them. But when you compare this to some of the other Freewing jets, like the A10, you know, you're close to that $700 mark, or a little over 700. The SR-71, and I like the fact that they're coming out with some planes that have more functioning features, like the SR-71 having a parachute. And I haven't got to make a video on that yet. I don't even know if I put any sneak peeks out there, so maybe I should keep my mouth shut and let you guys see it when you see it. Same thing with the A10. You have the little LED and the cannon up front, and different cool little features like the formation lights and stuff like that. So but really, if it performs like they say it does, and like it looks like it does, then I think it'll be well worth the money. So, but don't get one if you're not an advanced pilot. If you don't have a lot of experience, and you don't have much experience with programming gyros and stuff, I wouldn't recommend you to get this. This is not a plane for everybody, and there's not a lot of people that are going to tell you that. But again, this is why you tune into this unsponsored, unbiased channel, where I don't make any money selling you on things, so I'm not here to try to sell you on stuff. So if you're not a really advanced pilot that's really looking for aircraft to hover, then I probably wouldn't recommend this. There are other aircraft that fly probably better and more scale, like the Avanti V3, the Freewing Avanti, the red and white one. And I think they just came out with the yellow and white one. Those are really cool, but I have some of those as well. Maybe we'll do videos on those at different times. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, just a quick reminder, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the big thumbs up button. Drop a comment or a question if you have one. Share this video with a friend. Thanks for watching this one. Let's go fly.